All right, we are Greenpass, and what we do is a bit different, I think, than from the other presentation we've heard so far. What we do is everything about climate resilience and climate resilient planning and architecture. To give you a bit of a context, I mean, issues like climate change and growing urbanization is nothing new. But what it brings with it is our issues such as heat islands, pluvial floodings, and all the costs and health risks that are, and investment risks, of course, that are related to it. And what we at Greenpass thought to give institutions such as municipalities, developers, and planners such as architects or urban designers and planners a tool at hand to be able to analyze and optimize these different aspects and enable livable cities, basically. To make this a bit more illustrative is if we take these two pictures, which are taken within, I think, half an hour, maybe 300 meters apart on a summer day in Vienna. We have tarmac and glass and asphalt where we see very high temperatures, and you have a shaded area with green, the shading, where it's well, it's at least with 26 to 31 degrees, it's pretty like doable. So such a big impact these small issues can have, and we have developed a software tool which in an easy way makes it possible to analyze and optimize a project. Behind this this tool is more than 10 years research and development. It's a quite unique evaluation system. It's a software-based tool, as I said before, and we coupled it with a quite innovative business model, which I will talk about a bit later. As I said, it is a software as a service that we provide. It's an all-in-one software system, which is also which provides you with a climate-proofed urban designing and architecture. It is coupled with other expert systems such as ENVIMET for microclimate and RealLogic for CFD wind models, which in the simulation stage go in and give you very precise results, basically. Greenpass, the tool itself, we declare ourselves to be a planning tool where you can evaluate the effects of buildings, materials, green and blue infrastructure on the microclimate and other aspects. We do a lot of optimization and can do the first, well, we do this first certifications for climate resilience as well. While doing this, we look at 6 urban challenges: climate, water, air, biodiversity, energy, and costs. And these are broken down into 28 performance indicators. I think it's maybe a bit difficult to read, so we'll read out a couple of them. For example, on the climate, which is probably the most difficult to read in color, as issues regarding climate and microclimate, thermal load score, thermal comfort score, the albedo, radiation, evapotranspiration, shading area, or nighttime cooling. A lot of issues regarding water, such as the runoff score or the sealing rate of the surfaces. Well, of course, the wind is a big topic, and CO2 storage, and other different topics as well. When you do a certification with us, there's also the possibility of 3 bonus challenges, including these 3 areas: biodiversity, resources, and social issues, which then are qualitative and not quantitative as the other 28 indicators. The applicability is on basically every scale, from single object or an open space until a district or city level, both in retrofit and in a new development project. What is behind it is it's as I said before, is a software. It's a Greenpass editor, which is the basis and the foundation, with easy to import GIS data. It's a GIS-based modeling system, and of course behind it is a very comprehensive database where to choose between different materials, different surfaces, the different kind of blue and green infrastructure and so on. I do not have a live presentation on this because it takes a bit of a skill at least to be able to handle the Greenpass editor. That's also why we have training sessions for them that takes a couple of days. But to give you a bit of an idea, the editor starts with basically you finding yourself in the world, and then basically by typing in the address, it gives you the coordinates, and then you can add the kind of different layers of in the project area and the surrounding, which of course is very important because, for example, winds do not only work for the project site itself, but also from the surrounding areas, and where you then can build the different scenarios, like a status quo scenario, the plan scenario, or various optimizations, which then will be sent in our backend into the simulation itself. We have 4 standardized tools, starting with the assessment, going to competition, pre-certification, and the certification. I will talk a bit more about this, where the assessment is a very basic tool for basic analysis. It's a only 2D floor model with some height informations, only looking at 5 different indicators that we've seen before. While the competition is very specific for the planning, for architects, landscape architects, urban designers, and so on, in case they participate in a competition, where we can do a quite quick analysis already, like on a 3D with simplified reproduction of design, which is something we call LOD1, level of detail 1. But this already includes the simulation of the specific project area. Then we have the sort of standardized analysis, which is therefore schematic design or preliminary design draft phase, already way more detailed, which included 5 different urban challenges with 12 indicators. And of course, like the premium product that we offer is the certification, which then of course gives you a lot of quality assurance as well. The full spectrum of indicators involved, all 6 urban challenges, with the possibility of the bonus challenges and 20 bonus indicators as well. Regarding the certification, you've probably seen it from something like DGNB or LEED, BREEAM. We have like a certain rating system as well, going from certified silver, gold till platinum. What are sort of the target groups? I talked about it a bit. We have a bit more about this. It's developers, and some of the advantages is of course that you get some security for your investments. You take care of like the climate-related impacts and the cost-efficient optimizations, and you get the certification as a quality insurance as well. For planners, it's about getting a competitive advantage to expanding your business segment, and of course to go in and look at your planning and optimize it in the early stages. Of course, for public entities like cities, municipalities, it gives them a tool for management and control, and in general, it provides them a tool to increase the thermal comfort and quality of life of the people that live in their city. The business model, as I talked about it, as a software as a service, that's not completely true. We are doing a bit of a model which not franchise as such, but you can learn, like if you're in the planning sector, you can learn to work with our tool in a 3-day training. We're right now working on making it on demand, but right now it's still sort of as a webinar, a 3-day webinar that we do it, where you learn everything there is to know about the topic and of course the software itself, and then you will be able to apply our Greenpass editor to your projects. But it must be said that they will always be in cooperation with Greenpass, because then our simulation team is performing the simulation itself. So it will be a cooperation, sort of 50-50 split, but we have so far approximately 30 different partners around Europe. And we are, of course, constantly looking to expand this as well. Some different projects, a couple of examples so far. You can see it on the map, 80 plus projects in more than 10 countries. Of course, it started very much in Austria, but has expanded to countries like Italy, Germany, Switzerland, the Czech Republic, the Netherlands, Belgium, and for example, Great Britain. We had our first gold certified project in Germany last year. It was a project from Strabag, big real estate developer in Frankfurt, which was mostly residential area, but also partially commercial as well. Another project we did with the city of Duisburg, where they wanted to have a look at a quarter which was very much exposed to heat and look at the microclimate and the wind conditions. Here you have a model of the status quo, and like with some of, I think the text is in German, it's a bit unfortunate, but you can see on the right side a thermographical card showing that there are a lot of areas which are either hot or very hot, which are the orange areas. We went in and looked at the different areas that were problematic, both regarding wind speeds and regarding heat, and made a simulation where we did use a lot of more greenery and green infrastructure, and reduced a lot of the heat spots and also the problems with wind. And yeah, now the city of Duisburg has sort of a tool where they can see in suggestions how to optimize the different projects and this area basically. And another small project, which was more about like getting approval, where the real estate developer wanted to build a project here, a house, and there was some shrubs and some trees, and the city of Vienna said, well, you can only get the approval if you prove to us that this will not have a negative aspect on the microclimate on this region. And they came to us. We made an analysis and certain optimizations for them. They went to the city of Vienna and they got the approval to actually build this project. I will skip this one, also just time-wise. Project called Eurogate, or now Village in Vienna. Hibernia was a project in Belgium, in Antwerp. It was a school where the focus was very much on microclimate, and especially we can do a special heat-related PET analysis, which looks at not only adults but also on young adults and children. So how this relates to children and younger adults, and also about was established on biodiversity, on a green roof, so different aspects as well here. I will end up with a couple of projects regarding what was certified by us, for example, Flair in the City, where there was a lot about investors wanting the project to be green and sustainable and climate resilient, where we, with this certification, the real estate developer could sort of guarantee that this project also, with the certification of Greenpass, was a climate resilient project. Biotop City, where there was a lot of social housing involved as well. We looked a lot about the costs of using green infrastructure, green and blue infrastructure, and certified it with gold in the end. Sort of a balance sheet. Greenpass has existed a bit more than 2 years now. We've grown, now we have more than 12 team members. I think we've grown to 14 or 15 now. In these 72 projects, we with the optimizations, we achieved that more than 1,100 more trees were planted, more than approximately 17,000 square meters of facade greenery, and 123,000 square meters of green roof was what in the optimization and in the building first were incorporated. And that's equivalents a saving of CO2 daily of 1,400 kilograms. So this was a bit of an introduction about Greenpass and what we can do and how we can support your real estate project. If you have any questions or this sounds interesting, reach out. The contacts are on the right, and I will also be available in the sessions for any further questions.